Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Money Hungry Mama podcast. I'm so excited because I have Annie here today. Annie, take it away.
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. So, Annie, tell us, what is your business?
So, I own 1428 Financial. We do bookkeeping, tax, CFO, all things finance on the business side for small business owners. I've been doing this. It was 6 years last month, which is crazy to even think about.
Wow.
But yeah, it's really fun. We help service based business owners know and love their numbers.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, how did we get into this business?
So I used to work in winery accounting, which was really fun. It was like a very unique experience. That was kind of my first big girl job in the accounting world. I had some smaller ones before that.
Hmm.
It was fun. It was very interesting. What other industry do you work in where you're like, let's taste really nice wines on a Tuesday morning? But there was no freedom, no flexibility. I was at my desk for long hours. We didn't have kids at the time, but I knew we wanted kids. And so I knew that there was something next. And so a friend of my husband's approached me and was like, can you do my bookkeeping on the side? And I was like, "Oh, yeah, actually I could." And then I started doing it, and I was like, I actually really love working with small business owners and helping them understand their
Hmm.
numbers and not just giving them reports. And it felt really meaningful. And so I was like, this is what I want to do. This is it. I also around that time read the book Grit by Angela Duckworth. I don't know if you've ever,
Okay.
but it's one of my favorite books, kid you not, like, I'm not joking when I say it changed my life because without going too far into a rabbit hole here, she talks about having your life philosophy and, like, you have this kind of these tiers of goals, and you have your, like, one life goal, like, what do you want out of life? And then you have, like, your
Hmm.
next level down, and then the next level down, and each level should you know, get you to the next level. And I wrote
Hmm.
down, like, I decided what my main goal, what I want out of life is. And I was like, this job is not it. This is not
Yeah.
it served me in a season and I learned so much from that job, but it wasn't at that point, it had done its purpose and it wasn't
Hmm.
to contribute anymore to get me to that next level of goals. And so I quit my job and started doing bookkeeping on the side instead. And that was, like I said, 5.5 years ago.
Wow. I love that. Like, there's like always some sort of eye opening moment
Yeah.
where it's like, no, like something needs to change. And like, for everybody, it's so different. And it's just like, wow, like I love hearing that part of why I needed to like start this. Okay. So we are 6 years in and you help service based businesses. What is a money myth that you wish that service based businesses would stop believing?
This is a good one. I think just the myth that knowing your numbers is hard, or that you have to have a degree to know your numbers, or that you have to put in a bunch of work to know your numbers. It's not that. I think there's a few key factors you need. You do have to put work in. It's not just something that is going to come to us. Just like, for me, legal doesn't come to me naturally, and that's okay
Yeah.
because we have people for that. So it does take time. But it also you need someone who's gonna guide you and help you along the way. Like, for us and my team of bookkeepers, it's so important that we're education first. We're not just reports. We're not just here to give you reports. We're here to
Hmm.
educate you, let you know what those numbers mean, and empower you to be able to look at your reports and say, "Okay, what am I looking at here? What do all these numbers mean?" And so I just really think that there's this misconception that numbers are scary. There's this thing to be feared. And I don't think that that's the case. I think you just have to put a little work in and get someone who understands you, who's not going to judge you, because I know there is a lot of CPAs that will shame you, but find someone who works with you and wants you to understand. And it's such a game changer. It's going to open up so many doors.
Yeah. It's so funny because, like, as somebody that has been doing this for like almost 10 years at this point, right? Like different hustles and everything, the word profitable was like I used to watch these women and it's like, "Oh, I had a $10,000 month. I had a this." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they are so profitable."
Okay.
Can you're already smiling, so I know you get what I'm going with this. Can you explain to my lovely mamas here how that is not an accurate thought?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's so flashy. We see on the internet all the time, 10K months. I feel like 10K months isn't even like flashy anymore. Now it's like 50K months, 100K months. It just the
Yeah.
ball keeps getting moved and it's so crazy. But yeah, so when people say that, 99.99 times out of or 99.99% of the time, they're talking about their revenue. They're not talking about profit.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're even talking about like contracts. They're not even talking about cash received. So it can mean so many different things to so many different people. And I personally, on the marketing side, feel like it's a lazy way of marketing. It's not even saying like, I can do this for you. It's saying, hey, look what I did. Look at this flashy number. And also, like, there's all these websites now that generate like fake Stripe screenshots and what. It's crazy. It's gotten so out of hand.
I didn't even know that.
Can you believe that? When I saw that on Threads and I was like, "No way." And sure enough, I looked it up and I was like, "This is out of hand. Like, this is crazy."
No.
But it doesn't give you the full picture. If let's say someone had a $50,000 month, that's amazing. That's so much money. But if they
Mhm.
spent $49,999 of it, you're left with $1 in profit. There's a lot to unpack there. I don't
Yeah.
think any of us would really be happy with, that profit margin.
No.
I think it doesn't give the complete picture. I don't think that it's an effective way to market, and I don't really think it tells us anything about like when a coach says, "Oh, I made $100,000 last month." I don't think it tells us anything about their coaching. Might
Yeah.
they're a good marketer, and that's great, but it honestly drives me crazy.
It honestly drives me crazy, and here's a couple reasons why. As we know, for, like, everybody listening at this point, and welcome to all the new ones, I write books, that's, like, my thing, right? And I had this mentor that I, like, idolized, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, they're hitting all the marks, they're doing all this stuff." I will never forget when this said person shared a screenshot of what they made in that year, but they took it from on Amazon, you can set ads and stuff, and they took it from there and forgot to take out how much they spent on ads. When push came to shove, in that full year, they made $10,000. And I was like, so we're on par to be exactly the same. You just have a ton of bigger numbers because you're spending so much on ads.
Yeah.
So, like, you're profiting the same exact thing as what I'm making with no ads,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is wild. And that's why, like, I am so protective of this community because I'm like, no, like, you guys can't fall for the stuff that I fell for. Like, it's too much.
Yeah.
You spend so much money trusting these people for nothing.
Well, and it's easy, like, they make it look, like,
Yeah.
believable, and it's maybe it's not even, like whether it's deceitful or not deceitful, I think there's some people who think they're doing the right thing. It doesn't matter, it's not giving the
Mhm.
full picture, and I don't think it's fair to people to portray that if you're not gonna give the full picture.
Yeah, and I wish it was less about numbers, right? Like, stop showing us numbers because now numbers can't be trusted. Now you're telling me there's a Stripe thing? Like, don't even get me started.
I
Like,
know, it's
don't
crazy.
nobody really needs to know how much you make. Everybody should be seeing what you provide and how you're going to change their life by doing this business, not what you're profiting off it.
Yeah,
That makes me so angry all the same single time.
yeah,
So,
exactly. I agree. Give me testimonials, don't give me a
yes,
screenshot, like, that's what I wanna see.
yes, 100%. Give me the testimonials. Like, let me sit there and go through and hear what it's like working with you
Mhm.
instead of me seeing your $10,000. Like, I don't know, you could have door dashed and still included that money in here. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so as a small service-based business, right? And, they're just starting out. Do you think that they should be paying themselves in the beginning?
That's a loaded question.
It
So,
is.
I think it's there's so many factors that go into it. So, I wanna start with that because there's so many pieces of it. I mean, are you profiting right off the bat? Then, yeah, you could probably take some out. Do you need it personally? That's a big question too. I think what I go back to all the time is like, you need to have a personal budget first because that's what's going to inform your business. And then you'll know, are you able to, I need this much for my personal life. Can I take that out? And yes, I know there's different seasons in life. So sometimes you are able to, you're able to cover it for maybe a month or two while your business is getting off the ground. So I think it's more so looking at, can I afford to? Am I profiting
Mhm.
my business? Do I need to? And how much? Because it all goes back to knowing your numbers. So knowing how much you're profiting, that's a good place to start because then you can say, I profited, let's say $5,000 this month. I need to save 25% of that for taxes.
Mhm.
That's step 1, like, don't skip it because I think it's easy to skip it, and then at the end of the year, you're kind of out of luck and you didn't save for taxes. So step 1, save for taxes, and then if
Mhm.
what's left with that, you don't wanna take all of it, but maybe take 75% of what's left. So that's, that 25% that you save for taxes, and then of what's left, to maybe take I say start with, like, 75% so you leave some in the business, and then it fluctuates, it go from there. It's not something that's set in stone, it's dynamic, and review it every week, whatever you wanna do. But I don't think it's wrong to take money out in the beginning, it's just whether your business can afford it.
Yeah, and it's so true because, I mean, it's crazy now. All the things when I started, I didn't realize I needed to pay for in a business.
Mhm.
Like, you don't think to yourself when you're saying, I'm going to make a website, how much that dang website costs for a year. Like, you don't think about that stuff.
Mhm.
Kajabi, literally, like, I just take all of my money. I don't even understand, like, why I decided to do this. Like, it's wild to me how much this stuff costs sometimes.
Mhm.
And I think if you're getting anything out of this conversation, absolutely look for different avenues where you don't need to put the money in right away. Like, if you are a brand new business and you're coming to me saying, I'm going to get Kajabi, I'm going to be like, halt, why?
Mhm.
Like, why are you starting with the most insanely priced one? Like, let's start lower and work our way up, or else it's just going to be, not worth it. So, I definitely think there's a lot of things that go into a business. That's why she's saying, like, make sure you have a budget of what it costs to run a month.
Mhm.
Do you need insurance? Do you not need insurance? Like, all of those things need to be in your budget before you definitely start paying yourself, but of course take taxes out because you don't want to be like messed up with that. And that's why it's so great to have a bookkeeper too, because you're kind of controlling it for us to be like, hey, Brittany, maybe don't take any money out this month. Like maybe let's just leave that in for this month.
Mhm.
And it's nice to have that somebody on your shoulder being like, hey, stop, don't do that,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is really cool. So, do you notice any emotional patterns around money with women entrepreneurs?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think a lot of times that fear does come up and uncomfortableness, is that a word?
Yeah.
Discomfort, that's probably the word I'm looking for. That fear and discomfort comes up a lot for many reasons. I think number 1, there are, people like I know for a fact because I've experienced it and I've seen it with my clients. Like there are CPAs and a lot of the older generation of CPAs, they do lead with fear and shame. Like why are you so much on a website or those kind of things? And I think that it drives me crazy because I just think number 1, they don't understand today's industry, especially the online
Yeah.
industry. Like they they are probably very good at what they that kind of CPA, but they don't understand what you and I do. So
Mhm.
they don't get it. So it's new to them. So I think
Mhm.
that that fear and that discomfort comes up for that reason, but also because I think just in our society, there's so much fear around numbers in general, around money in general. It's almost like a taboo topic that we can't
Mhm.
talk about, which I totally disagree with. I think we need to talk about it more, but it's very common to not want to talk about it. And I think that we change that by talking about it, by making it a topic that isn't shameful, that there's no fear around it.
Mhm.
Men especially that it's so empowering to look at your profit and loss and know what those numbers mean and be able to use that information as data and make data-driven decisions within their business. Like, I can't think of anything more empowering than that, than being like, "I can look at these numbers, I can read them, and I can use them to run my business."
No, it's so true. And it's like, it's so funny because when nine out of 10 times, when you get this idea of starting this business, like, it's like you're only thinking of the shiny thing. Like, you're only thinking of that product that you wanna make or, saying the logo that you did created and, like, all the shiny, beautiful things, but then when you sit down and you're like, "Oh my gosh," like, there's so much like, I call it, like, it's the same thing as raising kids, beautiful chaos. There's so much beautiful chaos that goes into running a business, And like none of it and all the conversations that I have here, none of it will ever be to scare you, but it's to awaken you because these are things that you should actually know up front because as we know, I have tried 30 side hustles and I did not. Okay. So there are hustles that I just lost money on in the beginning because I was like, oh, shiny. I love this. And then it's like, no, Brittany, like you just spent so much money to start this business that now you're bored of it and you're not going to finish it. Right. So it's definitely something that you just want to make sure that you're finding all the pieces and doing all the pieces so you're not out money right as you're starting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and it's hard I mean, it's hard when you're excited about something, you're like, I don't know about your personality, but I'm like, "Let's do it, let's go, okay." And
100%.
so then my husband's the opposite side, he's the yin to my yang where he's like, "Okay, like, why don't we, like, pump the brakes a little bit?" And, we need that balance.
No, we do.
I agree, like, you get excited and, of course, you wanna go full bore into it, but I totally agree with everything you said, like, having a plan and thinking about all the aspects of it before is super important.
100%. And there's one specific time. All right, guys, this is like a pretty embarrassing story, and I'm pretty sure I shared it at the beginning stages of the podcast. I I was on an Etsy kick. I swear to goodness that was gonna be my thing. I was gonna make it on Etsy. I really wanted that to be my spot. And do you have any pets?
I do, yeah, I have a dog.
Okay. I wanted to make bracelets, metal stamping bracelets that had like a bone for dogs and a cat, and like a fish for cats. And I was like, oh, nobody's doing this. This is gonna be great. I bought all the material to make it, made a website, signed up for Etsy, did all of these things before sitting down and trying to make a metal stamping bracelet. Have you ever tried to metal stamp something before?
No.
No. Okay. I broke every single one in the first hour. In the first hour, and I literally deleted the website, asked very nicely for a refund. I deleted the Etsy, everything, and I just
Aw.
was out like hundreds of dollars because I didn't even try it first. So, like, it's everything I say comes from learned experience, guys. Like, none of this stuff is not
It's so funny.
isn't it nuts? Like, I'm an actual nut. I can't even stand it. So, as you're doing this, right? How often should we be looking at our numbers?
Yeah, I mean, so it kind of depends. So I think at minimum monthly, you should
Okay.
sit down, look at your numbers, do your bookkeeping if you're doing it yourself, or if you have a bookkeeper, look at the reports from your bookkeeper at minimum monthly.
Mhm.
And then from there, find your groove. So, like, I check in on my finances on Fridays. That's like my one,
Okay.
recurring on Fridays. And I just kind of look at things. Okay, where are we at? And that's a real quick, it's like a 5-minute check in. It's nothing important. So, anywhere I would say, like, if you want to do that, I would caution away from like checking your bank balance every day.
Mhm.
I used to check mine literally like, every day. And I was like, this is actually kind of a source of anxiety for me. Why am I doing When I got more comfortable with my numbers, I didn't feel the need to check it every single day because I knew that things were taken care of and I didn't need to. So it might sound like I need to check it more often, but it's not always more often. But I would say once a month, if not like every week or every other week.
Yeah, I think I was doing it once a month, and it was like, if there's a lot of things that are going out, you definitely should check that more than
Yeah.
once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
because I was definitely like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, so now, like, within that, like, kind of every other week, I'll, like, do my bookkeeping just so I get caught up on it, and, like, for me, it doesn't take 5-10 minutes, but it does help because sometimes if I even look, like, a month back, I'm like, "Wait, what did I buy on Amazon, for 50
Yeah.
last month?" So it just helps you kinda stay on top of it and get in the rhythm of doing it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely think it's something like it's everything is like learning experience and like trial and error and figuring it out because there would be times where all of a sudden it was like months and I didn't check and I was like, what am I doing? God knows how much just went out and I haven't even paid attention to it.
Yeah,
So it's definitely something you want to take it and top up for sure.
yeah.
So now for somebody that's just getting started, do you have any tools that you recommend?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say just get started with a system. There's different systems, so you could use a spreadsheet. We have a spreadsheet for sale on our website. It's
Cool.
basic, it's simple, but it works. It does the job. It's a Google sheet and you just kind of type in your income, type in your expenses. It summarizes it.
Cool.
super easy. That kind of the next step up from that is using the software. Everybody knows QuickBooks. We don't really love QuickBooks. We like Xero. It's spelled Xero. Super affordable. I think it's like 20 or 25 bucks a month, and it connects to your bank automatically, pulls in all your transactions. So there's less manual work in that everything's pulled in, you just have to code it. So again, using that Amazon example, if it will say like Amazon $52 March 2nd, and then you'll just put that was for office supplies. And so less manual work, but there's the monthly subscription cost. So those are kind of my two recommendations. We also have on our website, we have a shop tab that has like a lot of resources that are just, I mean, they're
Cool.
$7 each just to help business owners who are managing their finances.
You are the second person on here that does not like QuickBooks. What is it? What gives?
Okay, there's a couple things. So number one, it's more expensive than zero, and the pricing is so confusing. It'll be like get 60% off for 6 months, but then shoots up to like this huge expense. Their customer service is terrible. It's so
Really?
I mean, every once in a while you get a gem and you get a really good customer service rep who helps you and they're awesome. Does not happen often. Like I've called into their customer service. Like I had a client whose bank feed wasn't connecting, manually having to upload things. And we called them so many times over the course of months. And finally, like, I asked them a question, and the customer service rep literally said, I don't know. And it wasn't like, I don't know, my supervisor. It was literally, I don't know, end of sentence. And I was like, okay, well, is there someone else I can talk to that does know? And you don't get that with Zero. Like, Zero, they're
Yeah.
with the customer service, they're just really easy to work with. And I don't know about you, but I love a company that cares enough to like make improvements. And I feel like every time QuickBooks makes improvements, it like changes everything, but nothing actually improves. And with Zero's improvements, like it's like actually improving the software. So that's my spiel about it.
I love that.
Yeah.
If there's any mamas that work at Zero, like get them to listen to Annie and get her an affiliate link because that's incredible.
That's one of
Oh
the
my god.
things I've been requesting is they don't do affiliates, which is fine. I'll still talk about them all the time, but it would be nice.
Yeah, no, seriously. I have it written down. I'm gonna sign up for them. If you're hearing this, Zero, I'm signing up because Annie said to. So let's get her a link. But no, it's so funny because everybody originally was telling me about QuickBooks and using QuickBooks, and it was so great. And I was like, oh, I'm going to sign up for it, but I just haven't yet because I don't have an excuse. And then, the past two times, I think everything happens for a reason because you were literally the second person in two
Yeah,
weeks that was like, do not use QuickBooks. And I was like, she's professional. She knows what she's talking about. I'm going to use Zero. And thank goodness I didn't sign up for QuickBooks.
I love
So that worked out for me, right? So everything happens for a reason, guys, for sure.
Like, yeah.
What financial red flags should make somebody pause immediately?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. So I would say there's a couple of things. If you're starting out, let's say I wouldn't say in the beginning, but maybe you're 6 months, a year, a couple years into business, and you're consistently not profiting. That's a
Mhm.
flag, because we really can't run a business without a profit. I know we all run business for a million different reasons, but making money should be one of them. And then second being your cash flow. So your cash flow, without getting too into the weeds, is the money coming in and out of your business. So, you say you have your money at the beginning of the month, all your money going out, all your money coming in, and then what's left. You want that to
Okay.
consistently be positive as well. So that means consistently your cash is going up a little bit. Every once in a while, if there's a month where it's negative, that's totally fine. But again, if you're losing cash every single month, that's a quick way to it's not a sustainable way to run your business. So that's a big one. Another one I see, unfortunately, much too often is taking out more in owner's draws or paying yourself more than you're profiting. And that is a driver for that cash flow issue because you're taking more money out than you're profiting. So your cash is going to be going down. And that's something that I see not all the time, but it's something that we see, and it's always something that we tell our clients, like, "Hey, just so maybe 1 month you needed more money, and that's totally fine, but if you're consistently taking out more money from the business than you're profiting, then your cash is gonna go down, and again, it's not sustainable." So those are the biggest ones I would say, and then on the more, like, emotional side, I would say check in with how you're feeling when you interact with your numbers. If you feel that sense of, like, dread or, like, anxiety,
Mhm.
thing like that, that's a red flag. And figure out, like, schedule a call. Like, a lot of bookkeepers, we do this. I know a lot of other bookkeepers do as well. Like, we do like one-off strategy calls. Schedule a call with a bookkeeper and just kind of like, run through those things, ask them questions to get you in a place where you're not coming from a place of fear or anxiety or discomfort interacting with your numbers, because I think that's so important. Because if there is something that is, like, horrible every time I interact with it, I'm not gonna wanna do that thing, so that's a big one as well.
Yeah, no, it's so true, and it's like, you know, guys, I if you are constantly in the negative every single month, then you have to sit down and you have to look at a couple of things. The first thing is your product. What is not getting across in your product? You have to look at your messaging. You have to look at your target audience. Are you targeting the right people? Does your product match what they need? You have to then, if all of those things are aligned and it's good, now we have to look at your marketing. You're not getting out there enough to make the profit. But always, if 2 months. If after 2 months you are still in the negative, you need to change.
Mhm,
Absolutely. I usually say a month, but, everybody has, like, bad months.
mhm.
But 2 months, something's wrong in your marketing, and that needs to be affected, or in the business that you currently have and the products that you have in general. So just take a look inward if you have not profited at anything in 2 months.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Definitely something that no, no, we are in this for the money, my friends. So we wanna make sure we're making some.
Mhm.
What's one mindset shift that instantly improves someone's financial future?
Ooh, that's a good one. I
Yeah,
think
thank you.
this is kind of on par with everything we've talked about, but I think shifting you're looking at your finances from something as a threat or something that's uncomfortable that you have to do, something that's a chore, shifting it from a chore to an actual useful tool.
Yeah, it's true, and it's also, like, your friend in your business, right? It's like it's almost like money is, I mean, it is. It's not almost like, but, like, it's your reward system, like, when we went to elementary school and it's like, "Oh, like, you get to pick a prize out of the prize box." Like, yours is looking at your bank and seeing money in it.
Yeah, and it's
So, it's
cool. It's like what we are doing something using skills and a service that we have, and we get to make money, and then we get to do cool things with that money. I think that's
100%.
awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Literally love being a money hungry mama. So, what is the biggest tax mistake you see every year?
I think putting off your bookkeeping until it's January or February and then saying, "Oh, my CPA will take care of it." Well, sometimes they will, but the way that a CPA does bookkeeping is different than a bookkeeper who's providing you reports every single month and letting you know how you're doing. When you're
Mhm.
playing that reactive game and you're waiting till the end, then a CPA is just gonna kinda do a quick and dirty cleanup of your books, and they're gonna get it ready for tax filing specifically. You're not gonna know on a monthly basis, know your numbers, be able to kind of plan for the taxes. It's really stressful.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why we're gonna go to 0,
Yeah,
and we're gonna make
exactly.
sure that it's there for us to make sure that that is all done for us.
Yep.
I love that. So, now what's one financial habit that every single mom listening should start this month?
Do a money date. Put it in your calendar, put it
Ooh.
recurring, always a recurring money date, like we talked about previously, check in like once a month, but make it a recurring date in your calendar. Make it fun. Like pop on your favorite music, light a nice candle, get a fun drink. I personally love poppy. I'm like on a orange poppy kick. Crack it open and look at your reports from your bookkeeper or do your bookkeeping. But I think that when we make it fun and make it a little ritual, it makes the process so much easier, and you start to realize how useful it is, and you kinda shift that mindset to it from it being a chore to it being something fun.
100%. And literally, that is the same exact ritual that I use to write the Money Hungry Mama book. Literally the same. Like, I have she's like, smells like a published author that my sister got me this candle. I had the candle. I had Shirley Temples as my drink.
Right.
And then I even went above and beyond. And after I was done writing for the night, once I hit my word count, I'd give myself like a little Lindor truffle with the
Yes,
caramel
I did that
inside.
with my square cute chocolate, and that's my reward.
Yes. Yes, literally the same exact thing. So honestly, guys, it could work for anything that you're working on. Like just make it you time is what I call it. Like
Totally.
snuggle up, get the candle. It's so true. I'm cracking up. Like you're like, look at money doing that. I'm like, I wrote a book doing that.
I love
It
that.
works. It works. My gosh. If a mom is sitting in her car right now, feeling stressed about money, what would you tell her?
It's okay to feel that way, but it's not okay to continue doing what you're doing to feel that way because we don't want you to feel that way. We want you to feel empowered and confident and all those things when it comes to money. I want you to feel excited. Like I just mentioned, like money is a cool thing. It's awesome. You're doing something amazing by making money, using the skills that you have to make money. Now let's get the second piece of it. Let's get how to manage it and what we're gonna do with that money, and instead of making it a stressful thing, like, make it an exciting and a fun thing.
It's so true. And I think, like, as somebody who literally cried in a parking lot because she couldn't afford diapers, it's definitely a stressor if it's not there, right? Like, if it's not there, then yes, obviously. But that's why you're listening to this podcast.
Mhm.
That's why you're listening to people like Annie. That's why you are soaking up and researching and trying to find something for you because you want to switch your current situation. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Sing with the koala, but, like, I always think about him and he's like, "You know what happens when you reach the bottom? There's nowhere left to go but up." And, like, with my story, if you come to a point in your life where it's like, "I can't do this anymore." Like, I physically cannot do this anymore, and that could absolutely be something that turns you into a money hungry mama that literally all of a sudden gets excited to look at her bank account and, see it go in. And I truly believe too, like how you were saying before about mindset, I don't know about you, but I want to talk about mindset for a second. If I am thinking negative and I am in a sad place or a down place, negative things absolutely start happening to me. But if I'm thinking in a positive, even if I didn't have the money, I would just tell myself it's coming today. It doesn't matter. And like that didn't mean that I wasn't doing anything to make it come. I want that to sound so clear because I know there's a big fuzzy line with manifestation. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like I would say it, but then I would also think of ways to figure out how to make the money that I wasn't having. But there is a huge difference in what happens in my life when I'm in a super negative mindset versus a very positive one. What about you?
I completely agree. I could not agree with that statement more, and I think it's also just, like, having the confidence in yourself to know that you can make it happen, and, like, we are moms.
Mhm.
We are the masters at making things happen, and so just know that you probably have a skill or whatever it is, even if you're in the beginning stages, and like you said, you've taken step 1, you're listening to this podcast, and you're like, "Okay, what am I gonna do?" You either have the skills need already, or you have the ability to learn those skills and to make that happen, and that's, like, a very cool place to be in, I think, because you just have to be confident in yourself that you can do it. And yeah, like you said, you've tried 30 different things and reminding ourselves like, it's like, I think that if we just talk to ourselves like we talk to our children, we so much more, because I think we are so encouraging when it comes to our kids and tell them like, "You can do anything." But if we just tell ourselves that, then we realize that we can and we could make it happen.
100%. I love that. Talking to yourself like you talk to your child. I think that is something that should be a challenge that we all work on
Yeah.
because it is so true. Like talking to myself like I talk to my kids is a wild thought. And I'm like, wow, that imagine how my life would
I
be if
know.
I talked to myself like I talk to my kids.
It's true, and I'm not great at it, but I'm learning and I'm trying my best.
Yeah, no. I think it also like we joke about it on the podcast a lot. Like we grew up at a time where it was like shove it down
Mhm.
and you're okay. Like just shove it down like as far as you can and you'll be all right.
True.
And it's like having to unpack all of that and like actually like start talking about feelings, it takes time. It takes time.
It's so true.
My gosh. Okay, so what does being a money hungry mama mean to you?
That's a great question. I think being a money hungry mama to me means knowing what you need and going for it, knowing and that starts with going back to what do I need out of my business, my life, all those things. And it's going to sound weird, but not trying to like that, letting that be okay that that's where we're at. So like I said, you want to start with your personal budget. Know what you need personally, and that informs your business. And I think, I'm sure so many listeners here are ambitious people who are just go, 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 like keep doing things. And my lesson in the past year or two has been to like rest and go slow and realizing like once I hit that ceiling of what I need, like I don't need to be working at night after my daughter goes to bed. I can, God forbid, I relax or rest a little bit.
Yeah.
And so just having that clarity on what I want out of life, what I need out of life, and what I need out of my business, because then I can know this is the money that I need to bring in. And then I get to do what I want outside of this. And I don't feel like I have to. I think so many of us, because we're so ambitious, because we so have goals and we want to do all these things. And that's not a bad trait. I think that's an awesome trait to
Yeah.
have. But it's also sometimes I think we forget that the reason we're doing our business is to live our lives, but we get in running our business that we just push everything to the wayside. I kid you not, one of my goals for this year is to have more fun because I feel like so many times we get into this like, I have to work, I have to do all the things, I have to make all the money.
Yeah.
And that's important. Obviously, the money allows us to do those things. But if we're not doing those things, then what's the point?
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Okay. So literally a couple months ago, you do this for your kids. And I have an 8-year-old son. And he was just like, Mommy's always working. Like that was just like something that came out of his mouth. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. Like I was getting this podcast up and running. I was literally just accommodating everybody. Can you do this time? Can you do this time? And I was doing it. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm trying to get this up and running. And his words were like a gut punch. And it was like, then why am I not doing a 9 to 5 if I'm doing this all those like the random times, right? Like I'm doing this to be with them. So now for everybody listening, I have 1 day a week that I offer, to be able to do this. And we're sitting here on a Tuesday. That's my day. And literally, like, I really try to stay in 5 to 8 PM, no phone, really being present with them. And for the longest time, we had Fridays were movie nights and Saturdays were game nights. And it's bringing those back. And I even have them on my vision board of like, I'm not forgetting those 2 nights out of the week.
I love it.
And it's just like, it's making sure that you are, even though we are money hungry mamas and we're doing this business, just like Annie said, like, it can't consume you because then what's the point?
Mhm. Yeah,
What's the point?
I completely agree. I was like a
Stay at your corporate job. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so true. It's finding that balance and it's finding that, it's okay. But like listening to us talk too, you're not alone. Like if you have been overworking, if you have been doing whatever, we are two people that literally said we do it. We did it, right? Like, and sometimes it takes that to find the realization, or maybe just hearing us being like, oh, you know what? Before I get the mom guilt punch, let me just stop because it already happened, like that. So it's just, finding it. And you have community here, you can reach out to us at any point and just to chat and talk about these things. So, Annie, how can our listeners support you?
Yeah. So we are currently taking on new bookkeeping clients if you feel like you need help. But also, like I said, we have tons of resources on our website. But just send us a message on Instagram. I love to chat about money. I'm currently this is during Lent when we're recording this. So I am taking like a little bit of time off of Instagram, but I still check it on my desktop. So I'm not completely off of it. But that's probably where we're most active and I love like I said, I love to chat about money or answer questions or any of those things.
Love it. And what's your handle?
1428 Financial.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, Annie, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, this was so fun. Thanks for having me.